Mhm.
Hello, everyone. Good to have you here joining us. I'm Ellie at English Fun Zone, and joining me as always, Brad's here. Hi, Brad.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Great.
How are you, Ellie?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I had a great weekend. Went out to the oldest town in Sweden,
Oh,
and it was nice. It was warm. It was sunny, and it was a great time. Learned a lot about the history of Santuna. So it was great.
history is always a good thing to learn about.
I think you would have enjoyed it.
Why is that?
Oh, lots of history.
Ah,
They had little plaques on the houses, and it told you who was the first to own it, what it was, and it was
mm,
interesting.
imagine like 1,000 years from now, somebody decided that it was worth knowing that you live there. Like not who you were or what you did. It's just it's important that you live there. Okay.
Right. Well, I always think of when I was in Prague, they had the tours going through the dungeons and the tunnels, and
Mm.
that's where they kept prisoners and did terrible things to them. And I I can't imagine living during that time thinking, well, hundreds of years from now, it's going to be a restaurant.
Or was it in New York, the Temple of Dender? It was an Egyptian temple. Like it was, imagine the architect of that thinking, oh, thousands of years from now, it's going to be moved through means I can't comprehend to a land I don't even know exists to a city that's not there yet. That's
Right.
amazing. Anyway, what's our
We're up and
topic today?
running. We're
Yeah,
up and
what's our
running.
topic today?
We're up and running. Today, we're going to be talking about figure of speech. Now,
Okay.
two things before we get started. There are a lot of different forms of this, and the slide is quite these slides. There are quite a few slides here, and we're probably not going to get through all of them today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to post it on my website at englishfunzone.com. You can download it and look at the whole PPT and review it. I have been making videos for these, and I'm almost done with all of them. There are a few that I haven't done yet, but I'll post all of the links that you're going to see today in the description box below. So if you want to watch a video on that specific one, you can do that. Just go to the description box below and click on it, and you'll get more information. We're just going to give a few examples on how to use these things, and it's more of an introduction to introduce you to these things. And maybe you've heard of these as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so you'll see the screen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. So the figure of speech is a figurative language, right? And it uses uh, different ways to express ideas. You'll find them in novels and poetry, plays, and in everyday conversation. Um, the thing that I found most difficult when trying to decide which ones to present today was how many. Some people say they're 12, some people say it's 25, others say 28, so 7. So,
So it's like pizza toppings. No one can actually agree on it.
yeah. And some kind of there's some crossover as well. It can be this and this. It's like, uh, so I've I've put the ones that I think are most common, commonly used, and we'll go with that. So I think I've got 20 different examples here.
Okay.
Okay, so Synecdoche. This is there are different types of synecdoche, and you can click on the video and get a lesson on that if you want to learn different phrases. Do you say "give me a Kleenex" or do you say "tissue"?
I can't remember the last time I said either. I would probably use it interchangeably.
Yeah. So if I was sneezing or I had a runny nose, I would say, "Can you give me a Kleenex?" But in Europe, I hear people say "tissue."
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I can't remember the last time I heard or said the phrase, but I mean, I would understand both.
Let's ask our viewers. What do you say? Do you say, "I need a tissue," or "give me a Kleenex"?
Okay.
See if anyone uses something, maybe something different.
A rag, I don't know.
Rag. All right. Handkerchief. Now that I've said tissue, my nose starts itching. So yeah, there are other examples like the police, which is like the group, everyone, the police. Silverware. So if you want a knife, a spoon, and a fork, instead of saying, "I want a knife, a spoon, and a fork," you just say, "Could I have some silverware?" But in the UK, they use cutlery.
Yes, that one I know. And they use too much cutlery.
Yeah, and when I think of cutlery, I think of knives, right? I think of kitchen knives. So the first time I heard that when I was in England, the woman said to me, "Let me get you some cutlery." And I was thinking, why do I need a bunch of knives? Like, no, it's cutlery. Okay. Jewelry. That's another one. For like necklaces, earrings, bracelets, rings, we say jewelry. Yeah, so those are examples.
Okay.
Euphemisms. Do you like them? Do you use them, Brad?
Quite a few times, yes.
I gave the example, death can be an uncomfortable subject. So
yeah,
there are many euphemisms to avoid confronting head on.
Yep. Yeah, I was informed of a death by passed away. So that has happened. But yeah, money, death. One euphemism I like, even though there's no context here in Europe, is "I need your John Hancock," because it's in reference to the man who signed the Declaration of Independence with the biggest signature.
That's right.
Yeah. Give me your John Hancock.
Yeah, I suppose we do use euphemisms quite a bit. And I've done a video, and there are I did a lot of videos on.
Sport.
Pardon?
Bedroom sports, yes.
Yeah, you saw them. Bedroom sports. Watch the video. And I've done videos on death. It was Halloween, so it was a theme. So there are a few videos on death. But yes, there is one on bedroom sports as well. I'm surprised more people didn't click on that. I thought that would be
your highest watched video.
No, but and I thought it would be. I thought it would be a slam dunk, but no. I was really surprised. I was really surprised. And it's rated PG. I mean, it's nothing terrible. I kept it to a PG. It's cute, and things that people would say or you might hear, and it's a nice explanation, and it's quick. It's a short, so So click on it. Watch that one. Yeah. So I like euphemisms. They're fun. It's funny because a lot of them you don't want to say, but this is kind of it's like, oh, she was let go. She was fired. If you say she was fired, it sounds so bad, but she was let go. It sounds, oh, it was okay.
They parted company.
Yeah. And if you're dating someone, you break up with them, you say, oh, or they're cheating on you. They're stepping out on you. they're stepping out on you. Oh, stepping out, which is a weird expression, stepping out. He was caught stepping out on her. I was stepping out, cheating on her.
And of course, English is also an expressive language. Like one euphemism for money that I remember from The Simpsons of all places is that I get that one here. If it's someone I'm seeing like on a weekly basis, and they're not they're not getting I go, you're like, oh.
Yeah, you'll find those on cartoon. You'll find them in cartoons. You'll find them in literature, all kinds of stuff. Metaphor.
Metaphor. Yeah, you might put the screen back up.
I put I'm going to put the screen back up. Metaphor. I'm a night owl.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. And the opposite of a night owl would be
morning bird.
Oh, yeah, early bird. Yeah. Okay. I'm not an early bird.
Yeah, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not.
I'm not.
Okay.
I dread waking up early. It's like, oh. And okay, now definition of early. That's the thing. Some people have different ideas to what that means. For me, what is early for you? Like, oh, I would never get up. I would never want to get up at that time.
Maybe 6. I mean, 7 used to be that for me, but now I get up no problem at 7.
Yeah. No, 9.
9 is too early for you?
No, 9 is when I get up. Anything before 9 is too early.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, anything before 9 is too early.
I used to be that way, but then I realized I could make more money and have more time to do things if I got up earlier. So,
well, for me, it started with having students in Costa Rica. And so I was staying up till 1, 2 in the morning having classes, and then waking up, late in the morning, later in the day. And that's how it got started. It was because I was staying up till 1, 2 in the morning. And now I stay up till 12, 1 o'clock. So I'm still in that, in that rhythm on that schedule. Yeah. Metaphors are fun.
Train wreck.
Yeah. And I did a video on those as well. Oops. Simile.
All right.
Oh, you should check out the video. It's I made it like a game show. Okay. Is it a metaphor or a simile?
Did you have music? Because you should have music for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was game show music.
Okay. Good. Oh no, that was incorrect.
Try again. Yeah. I enjoyed doing that one. That was a fun video to do. Other examples of simile: busy as a bee.
I forgot. Hungry as a something.
Wolf.
Hungry as a wolf.
Wolf. Hungry as a wolf.
Yeah.
That's in a song, isn't it?
And I'm hungry like no wolf. Duran.
Thank you. That was going to drive me nuts all day. Who was that? Blind as a bat.
Smart as an owl.
Smart as an owl.
Or wise as an owl.
Proud as a peacock. Yep. Next one. Irony. There are three types of irony, and in the video I explained the three different types. But we have situational irony, we have verbal irony, we have dramatic irony, and yeah. So I like irony, but I don't like it when people use it all the time. Like
I can't freaking stand it because like people in like because I'm going with this of your example here. Like modern writing, it's if it's ironic or weird or unexpected, therefore it is good. And no, as you know, that example I've cited a few times now. If someone ruins your life in front of your eyes and then you join them to ruin everybody's life, that's pretty weird. And that's not good writing.
Yeah, and I think too much of it is, like I said, is a bad thing. I have some examples if you want. Situational irony, a good place to start is The Wizard of Oz. There's a lot of situational irony there.
Cowardly Lion.
What?
Cowardly Lion.
Yeah. The main characters are all situational irony. Another one for verbal irony would be The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of verbal irony.
But this is the death of Dr. Henry Jekyll.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll list those as well. So if you want to read the books, you can look for those things. Yeah. Oxymorons. Oxymoron. That's just a fun word to say. Oxymoron. It's two things that contradict each other, like jumbo shrimp. What? Jumbo shrimp?
Yum yum.
Those muffins were awfully good.
It was a spectacular failure.
Yeah, it's a spectacular failure.
I like that.
We had a lot of rain last week. We had a lot of rain, and we had puddles. There was puddles everywhere. I walked out. I said, "Looks like we got a little bit of rain last night. Little bit, not a lot, just a little
bit." There's a member of my family who was like, if there was like a piece of paper on the floor, they would say, "Paper's all over the floor."
Yeah. And it's like two pieces. Like what?
Yeah.
My dad, a long time ago, my dad worked on cars, and there was a car that had a big scratch across it.
Oh, that would be
and I was like, "Wow, what happened here?" And Dad said, "Oh, it's just a scratch." It was like totally messed up.
That sounds like something my father would say or do. It's like, "Oh, it was fine."
Yeah, there was a car that he had a lot of little dings, and it just was dense and little indentations everywhere. And I said, "What happened here?" And my dad looked up. He looked up at me and said, "Bad driver." Bad driver. It's like, oh yeah, okay.
We've mentioned doing old video games in the 90s, like Doom. One of the newer versions, you find out that they were doing experiments and people were coming back going, "Oh my God, demons!" And scientists were like, "Oh, it's probably fine." It's probably fine.
No problems.
Yeah, exactly. Just demons.
Yeah, so funny.
I like that kind of stuff.
So the thing with oxymorons, if it's two things coming together, we have also an understatement. And the examples we gave, talking about rain, talking about the dent, those are all examples of an understatement, when you're kind of saying, no big deal, and it's actually a big deal. And we can use oxymorons in a similar way by saying, it's an awfully good job, right? You fix the car. Well, that was an awfully good job you did on that car. So you can take that understatement and use an oxymoron to say, wow, you did an awfully good job on that car. Or they did an awfully good job messing it up.
Yeah.
So understatement, oxymoron. Oh, here's the next one's my favorite. And I love saying it. I had a friend whose last name was very similar to this, Onomatopoeia.
What last name was that?
Well, her name was similar to Onomatopoeia. Hers had the same amount of syllables, and it sounded similar to Onomatopoeia.
Was she Greek or something?
Yeah, she was Greek, but it was like, I don't want to say her last name, but it was very similar to Onomatopoeia. And I told her the first time I met her, I said, "Boy, your name sounds like Onomatopoeia." She goes, "Oh, it does." Onomatopoeia. It's just and I like saying that word. It's a fun word. So I think we use these more for when we're writing, right? Like I don't say that dog said bark, 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 right? I would say the dog is barking, right? Can you imagine if we talk that way? The car went from passed by.
As Monty Python once said, if he were dying, he wouldn't carve out, oh, he'd just say it.
Right. Oh, that's a good example. Yeah, the only one we verbally use, I think, is shh, like shh, quiet, shh. And aw, like if something's cute or you missed something. Aw. Yeah. I would call that a verbal pause.
Yeah, well, I call that stammering, but yeah, sure.
Stammering. Yeah.
This is how we used to tell someone to be quiet. Well, I say other things depending on how angry and irritated you've made me. So
yeah, it's funny there is a list you can get for onomatopoeias, like get a list of all of the words that you can use when writing something, and it's amazing how many things we have there are words or sounds that we use, like shh. That's not really a word, that's just the sound, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, when we did the interview, I said that there was my grandmother going dit 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 when something's wrong. Yeah. But that's communicating no.
Right.
It was more like high pitched.
And then you have that and you think, well, how do I spell it? Would it just be T?
I thought of it as DIT. Dit. That's what I thought of it as. So.
Right. And I think if I were to tell a student that if they wanted to write a sound, they would just have to think of, if you're writing in English, think of what the sound is and come as close as you can to what that sound sounds like dit, 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 dit. Right.
It boomed over the countryside.
Right. So Yeah, that's a bit tricky if you have a sound
Mm-hmm.
that your grandmother makes that's not a standard or commonly used onomatopoeia. You
Mm-hmm.
can make them up. You can write them yourself as long as when the reader reads it, they say that sound. And I guess the best way to check is to say that. Show what you've written to someone and have them say it. And if it sounds as you want it to sound, then you've done a good job. I guess that's my advice. Have someone read it and read it out loud and have someone say, "Yeah, I get it."
All right. Fair enough.
Personification.
Mm,
Human attributes to non-human things. The
hmm.
floorboards groaned under the weight of each step.
Yep.
Yeah. I did that. I did this on this video on it as well.
Okay.
Personification. That was a fun video. So check that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a very creative way to express an idea, and there really isn't no right or wrong in writing a personification, but the best way is to think of, okay, here's the thing, right? Floorboards. And when
Mm-hmm.
you step on them, right, you hear and you think, okay, is that a squeak like a mouse? Or, is it groan? You have to think of what the thing is and what's it doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other?
Groan is usually the one I think maybe screamed, like it
Uh,
screamed through the air.
right. Yeah. Or the billboard screamed the discount. I don't know.
I
Trying to
don't think
think
it
of
would
offhand.
screamed. I think I would probably have
A
said something.
warning. A
Screamed
warning.
a warning. Well, no, billboards are for advertising. So, um,
Well,
but
if
yeah,
it's warning against the effects of alcohol or drugs, maybe.
hmm. Sound is silence though, and the sirens screamed out their warning or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah. Usually hear about sirens screaming or wailing.
Okay.
Yep.
Whoops. Next one.
Hmm.
Try this one. Paradox.
Ah, yes.
Statement appears to contradict itself, but contains some truth or theme or humor.
Mm-hmm. All
All
animals are
animals
equal.
are. Uh huh.
Some are more equal than others. Yeah. Totally not relevant today.
Yeah. So paradoxes are. I find them a lot in books, like in novels and things. It's not something that I would say in a conversation.
Yeah.
It'd be something that is written.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I mean, I don't. It's the only thing I can think of where I would use it frequently is I mean, obviously, I made clear in these episodes how much I valued and liked my father, but one of my nicknames for him was imbecile because of one time where he's royally, screwed up royally. And I would just be like, when I needed something, I'd just say, imbecile, get this done immediately. And he'd be like, yes, sir. He would just come. He would just usually respond with various terms for dictator throughout history, like "Jawohl, mein Führer" or "Excellency, it shall be done" or something like that. So,
I think the only thing I remember my grandfather saying to me was that youth is wasted on the young. It's the only time
mhm.
I heard him say something that was youth is wasted on the young. Oh, that's a good paradox.
Well, I mean, I can understand it. You know, when you're young, you're full of energy and health, and able to do things that you won't be able to do when you're older. So,
Yeah. Yeah, the more you know, the more you don't know.
And now you need that NBC logo across the sky here.
All right, so those are some examples of paradoxes.
Mm. Especially because my father was actually quite a wise man. So well, it's part of the point.
Metonymy. This is I'm currently doing this video for Monday. So Monday, I'll have a video for that.
Next Monday, I assume you mean.
Right, next Monday, not today. Next Monday. I'm in the process of finishing it up, and that's going to be posted on Monday next week. Basically, it takes something that's it's an object, and a word or an object stands in for a closely related word or of an object. Like, can you give me a hand? I'm not saying, here's my hand. Let me just give it to you.
Help me.
Let me give you my hand. Yeah, no. To help you, right? Can you give me a hand? Can you help me?
Or those have a heart. Have a heart. Shows some mercy or sympathy.
Right. Have a heart. Yeah, there are quite a few of these actually. In the video, I have things like, well, you have a Picasso, right? And you say, I've got a Picasso hanging up. So they use the name of the artist. Or my rides at the mechanics.
Yep.
So my ride is my car at the mechanics. And again, you can make these up as well. These are things that people make up, as long as they make sense, right? You can't say my foot's at the mechanics. That doesn't make sense, right? You could say,
maybe if you're an Android, you're C3PO or Data, then it would make sense.
Right. If I was if I had removable parts that needed to go to a mechanics. So yes, you can make these up as long as they make sense. You have to think, does that make sense? Like cradle. If we were to use cradle as an example, we could say that from cradle to grave. They were taken care of from cradle to grave, meaning they were taken care of from the time they were born until the time they died. And it shortens it as well. So yeah, those are some examples. More on next Monday.
Exciting.
We did understatement. I like hyperbole.
Yeah,
that's the hyperbole. A deliberate exaggeration that adds emphasis, urgency, or excitement to a statement. My feet are killing me.
It's the end of the world.
When I was in Sigtuna, we walked around everywhere, and my feet were killing me. Yeah. Sigtuna, the town, it wasn't that big, but you can get lost. And the place that we were staying, it was on a hill, so you had to go up a hill, and then the hotel had a bunch of stairs. You had to go up a lot of stairs to get to the hotel. So my feet were killing me.
Stairway to heaven.
Yeah.
That's a euphemism that you hear a lot. To heaven or of heaven. It means, well, you probably died in the process.
Right. She's in heaven. He's in heaven. Yeah. When I was younger, I used to use, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse.
Yep.
I remember saying that. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse.
Yes, because the logistics really aren't there for the human body.
Yeah. No, I would never eat horse.
Well, you're a vegetarian?
Well, I'm more pescatarian, but I just love horses. I wouldn't eat a horse. It's like I wouldn't eat dog either.
My mother and sister would never speak to me again if I did that. So, I did that knowingly. They'd never speak to me again. Um, they love their doggies. They love all doggies.
I wanted to explain for those that don't understand a pescatarian. It's not a
Yeah.
Presbyterian. I am also a Presbyterian. That's a form of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Catholic, Lutheran, Presbyterian. I would say I'm Presbyterian. And then we have we have now I've got the word stuck in my head. A pescatarian. A pescatarian is someone who eats fish, is a vegetarian, but also eats fish. Now I eat sushi, so I like sushi, so I do like fish. And if you eat meat, you're a carnivore.
Yum.
So carnivore, pescatarian,
Well,
vegetarian.
you could also be an omnivore. It means you eat both vegetables and meat, right? Like
right.
that's what I am. So
you're an omnivore.
yes,
Okay.
like lunch today, I'll have a chicken sandwich, but I'll have carrots. So it's there you go. No, my good friend in Ireland is a pescatarian. I think if I remember, he said it was just how his family did it, and now he's just used to it. So of course I'm a wonderful friend by telling him, oh, you don't know what you're missing out with burgers, but
They've never had them before. I had a student once, she was, I don't know, 5 years old, and I was asking her, we're going through the different foods, and I said, which do you prefer? Do you like chicken, beef, or fish? She didn't answer. And I go, chicken, beef? I'll say, okay, let's say hamburger or fish. I was doing that. I did it like twice. And the mother comes running into the room and she goes, Teacher Ellie, we're vegetarians. I said, oh, poor little girl, 5 years old. She knew what these things were, but she had never tasted them, never had them. And so she couldn't tell me, I don't know what, I know what they are, but I've never had them. So poor thing. And so I had to teach her.
I like chicken. I add it to everything. When I was living in New York and I would go out to and I'd have pasta or something, I'd ask, can I have it with chicken? They're like, wait a minute. And they go out, walk to the kitchen, they come back and say, yeah, for $2. I'd be like, yep, sure. They just cut up a chicken breast and, sprinkle it on. And I was happy.
I was surprised, I used to eat meat. And I was surprised that when I stopped, I thought I would miss chicken because I love chicken. And it's not that I wouldn't eat chicken. I mean, at Christmas, if I have turkey, I will eat turkey at Christmas. But yeah, it was weird. I thought that was the thing I'd miss, but no, I don't miss it. And fish, I don't miss fish either. I can take it or leave it. But yeah, oddly enough. And I don't eat pork. I don't care for pork. So that's something that I would never miss. All right, next one. Getting off topic here.
It's
puns.
Puns. Oh God.
I've done okay. Here's a funny story. So I did a video on homophonic puns and homographic puns. And you would not believe how many messages I received about me homographic puns. How many people were saying, "Oh, what does this have to do with homos?" And what are you talking about? And they thought I was talking about something like gay people or something. I was like, no, it's a homographic pun. It has nothing to do with that. And you would not believe how many dislikes I got on the video. Like a lot of people disliking it because they misunderstood what it was about without watching the video. And I just thought, oh wait.
There's Sacha Baron Cohen, who's probably most famous for Borat and The Dictator. He used to do a character called Ali G, who was like this idiot. And he had a bunch of scientists and creationists, and he was interviewing them, and they were trying to explain evolution to him. And so they say Homo sapiens, and he's like, whoa, yo, I respect you all for coming out, but I didn't think he's like, no, it's nothing to do with homos. And he just wouldn't get off that.
Yeah,
So
I
that
couldn't
does
believe
really happen in real life. That's
it
fantastic.
did. It did. It actually did. And so many dislikes on the video. And if you dislike one of my videos, I would love to
At
know
the same
why.
time,
Tell me,
I
I
am
didn't
kind
like
of
this, I didn't like that.
at the same time I am kind of sad to hear that was how people were reacting. But
Yeah, I
no kidding,
understand. I understand,
politics and
but
culture. So
yeah, I understand that, but I would never, never say anything like that,
mm,
uh, in a video.
yeah.
But yeah, so we have homophonic puns,
Hmm.
homographic puns, and compound puns. Now, I didn't do a video on compound ones. Um, it's. I don't think it's one that's used a lot. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't done a video on that.
Mm.
But yeah, so check out
My
the
my father was
videos on them.
my father was very fond of puns. He was very keen on dad humor. Like when he had a tonic and gin, he would always go, Brad, look, Titanic. And I would just
Oh no, that's a dad joke. That's a dad
that would
joke.
just be my face every time, just like shut up.
Titanic.
Yeah. Oh, he thought he was brilliant. He thought he was very funny. Then he wondered why I would show him modern art whenever he came to New York. So,
Okay, the next one,
mm,
antithesis. Yeah.
mhm.
It places opposite things or ideas next to one another in order to draw out their contrast. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. This is a common one that people refer to
Right.
from A Tale of Two Cities. And if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it that you should.
Mm.
Yeah,
Boy, it's been forever since I read that book.
I know.
Like
I
all
was
I
thinking.
remember about it is there was a woman who just kept knitting. That's all I remember about it. Oh, and the twist ending, which of course I'm not going to
Don't
say.
say. Don't say.
I
Don't
just
say.
said I'm not going to say, Ellie. That's all I remember about it. It's set during the French Revolution, right? Is that
Right.
what it's set? Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've read that, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to put that on a video. I post videos every Friday of stories. Stories. I post stories every Friday. I've started a Patreon, and I'm posting these longer stories on Patreon, and I'm focusing on SAT from the SAT reading list, suggested reading list.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of books that students have to read for the SATs, and I'm posting stories there. So I've just started it. That's one of the things I'm going to be posting. I think that channel is going to be focused on tests like SAT, PET, FCE, and post things there. Because some of the language in some of these books, I don't know if YouTube allows it. And I know Patreon, like, whatever. I just finished editing the Huckleberry Finn Adventures book.
Oh, okay.
And that has a word that we don't use anymore.
That.
Yeah.
Well, that word though is being used in the historical cultural context. So
right. I understand that, but does YouTube understand that?
Well, I mean, that is an issue I have with YouTube channels, is that they're being very critical about jumpy about that. Like, for example, I think there's a rumor that if you even mention Hitler's name, regardless of context, you are immediately in trouble. And I think right now, more than ever, we really need to understand the fragility of democracy and how a government works. So those videos.
Great, you just said his name, so now this video is null and void. But do we have to beep it? We have to bleep those things now.
Actually, I think what it is in all seriousness, I think it's in the first 30 seconds. But I mean, and I don't think they really care about live streams. Those are, I think, are the exceptions.
I
So
don't
you're
know. My one live stream got blocked because I showed a clip from American Idol, and if you go to that live stream, I
yeah,
had to
but
cut
that's
that
different.
out.
That's
So,
different, you know.
all right, let's go to the next one.
Oh, I was gonna say if you ever for some reason do War of the Worlds, I'd be happy to read that one for you. I like science fiction.
Okay. If I need a person to read that book, I will definitely
Absolutely. No one would have
read.
believed in the last years of the 19th century.
Ooh, very good. Okay, epigram. That's a clever and memorable statement.
Mm-hmm.
No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. I love that one. Eleanor Roosevelt said that.
One that I like is that I forget who said it, but history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Uh, there are no gains without pains.
No pain, no gain is what I've always heard.
Right, but Benjamin Franklin first quoted it as there are no gains without pains.
Okay. Eat to
That's
live, don't live to eat, he also said.
right. Oh, that's a good one
So
too.
apparently, Benjamin Franklin hated foodies.
The next one, I'm going through these a little bit faster. Um, I wanted to go to this one,
Mm-hmm.
alliterations, which are also known as
Mm-hmm.
tongue twisters.
Yes. Toy boat,
And
toy boat, toy boat.
and I don't like I only like tongue twisters to help with some way to reduce this. I only like tongue twisters to help exercise your mouth with sounds, certain sounds. But
Mm.
as far as an English thing, no, no,
No,
no. And um, if you have you heard of this comedian called Isimo?
you mentioned him
Ismo?
recently. Yeah, you mentioned him recently.
Okay. So I can't show you the clip, but I'll post the link in the description box below. And he does a bit on the she sells seashells by the seashore.
Mm-hmm.
He does a whole bit about that. When am I ever going to learn that, or when am I ever going to use that? so so it's hilarious. He
The,
says,
the
and he
frequent
goes
the
through.
frequent cry of a child at school, and then most of the time they're actually right.
Yeah, so there are a lot of tongue twisters. Um, and some people like them. I personally don't. I unless it's like if you're having problems with a sound or a letter combination, then maybe. But in general, I don't care for them. I prefer songs over tongue twisters.
Mm. All of Czech is a tongue twister
Why do you say that?
because it has a letter that does not exist in any other language on the planet,
Oh,
and they use it a lot.
yeah. And I
And
thought,
when I speak Czech for a long time, my jaw and tongue are literally a bit numb. So yes, they are literal.
uh,
It's a literal tongue twister language.
well, for me, Mandarin was hard because they have a sound that starts here. This is really tight. So I had a problem with making that sound 40, and they have a tongue twister, and you use this here, and so that was painful or sore. I don't know. I didn't hurt that much, but you could feel it for sure.
Mm.
Okay. I'm going to close this. I'm going to announce I got my book. Can we do this?
Yeah. There you go.
Ta-da!
Seeker of Things.
Yeah. So this is out on Amazon now. This is my first children's book, and it's not a long book.
Mhm.
What's unique about this is it's one of those adventure books. So you get a choice. You choose one of these. And it's like, let's say it says go right or go left. You would choose one, and you would scan this QRC code, and it would tell you where to go next. Now, the thing about this book, if you don't have a phone, the answers are in the back. So you can make a choice, look at the back, and read what page to where to
Choose
go
your
to
own
next.
adventure.
So yeah, so if you don't have a phone, can't use a QRC code, you can go check that out in the back.
Choose Your Own Adventure was fun.
Right.
As a kid.
I enjoyed them. It was hard to write because
Oh, I'd imagine.
I did a kind of a test with some children.
Mhm.
I don't know, 20 some children that
Mhm.
read the first part of the book, and majority of them said we want more choices. Instead of 2, they wanted like 3 or 4.
Mhm.
But and I did. I made parts of it where there were 3 choices, and then there were 4 choices. So I took their suggestion, but it was hard because it's like a tree. It's like, well, here's a suggestion, here's a when I wrote it, I got lost a few times.
I mean, what I probably would write is like I would probably write out like each individual story I wanted to do, and then I would just mix it together because it's like you're not supposed to read it cover to cover. You're supposed to read,
No.
do with the jumping around the book. So
Right. And I wanted this translated, and the person that was translating it said, I can't translate this. I said, why not? It's like, well, it doesn't make sense. I said, are you looking up the choices? No, it will make sense if you look at the choices. Because they were trying to do it 1 page, 2
Right.
pages.
Yeah, like let's start on our adventure. Page turns. The Earth exploded.
Wait.
Well, probably nothing that dramatic, but I'm just saying I could see the shock of wow.
It was confusing.
Actually, I remember one comic book did a choose your own adventure, and someone pointed it out, and they actually humiliated the person in the letters section, saying, "We told you not to read it cover to cover."
Right. And there's a letter to the adventurer, the person that's reading the book, that explains that says, do not try to read this without making a choice. You have to make a choice.
Because what it was it was just pages out of context. So you would see it only if the neighboring page was where you were supposed to go, and it would make no sense to the story. It wouldn't, and then it would tell you, if you want to see this, turn to this page, and there's no page in the book like that.
Right. So what I was getting to is that you might be able to find some figure of speech
Not Ellie.
in my book.
She's gone back to her people. She's just gone.
Magic.
There you
are. So you can look for these things in stories, in novels, and you can also write your own. Let me know what forms of speech or what things you've seen. Let me know in the comment section below, or maybe something that you have used. Maybe there's an expression that you've used. We know. If you want a copy of this book, you can get it on Amazon. You can also get it at your local bookstore. You just have to ask them to order you a copy. A few libraries have it.
Wow.
It's places that I've lived. I think in the Czech Republic there might be a copy. In Prague, there might be a copy in Prague. There used to be some, but never mind. They were all sold out. I had them at one of the bookstores in Prague, but they're all sold out now. So, so if you want a copy, there.
It's still pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. and 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 yeah, I was going to say something else, but I forgot. So that's a good way to support the channel too. And thank you so much for doing. If you do buy a copy, or if you have bought a copy, thank you so much for that. Thanks for subscribing, liking, and sharing, and all of that other fun stuff. And Brad,
Well,
thank
we
you
have
for
about
joining.
4 minutes. Do you want to do one more figure of speech, or?
Oh, but do you have any you want to add?
No, but I mean, you made such a nice PowerPoint. I didn't want to. That's why I was more reserved today to make sure we got through most of it.
Oh, you're more. What's that? um, we'll do this one then. Let's see. What tongue twisters? Let's go through. We'll do one more then.
All right, let's do it.
This is your screen then. We'll let you do this one.
My screen. Okay.
There, you see it?
Circumlocution
Circumlocution
is the use of a purposely wordy description. You can think of it as talking in circles. In the Harry Potter series, most characters don't say Lord Voldemort's name. Instead, they use this circumlocution. He who must not be named. Yes, I actually used that one a couple of times myself with certain people, so I'm definitely used to that. What about you, Ellie? Do you use any?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He who must be named. No. I was trying to think what circumstance I would use something like this. What would be the circumstance?
Probably like if there's something like awkward or embarrassing or difficult, it would just be like the thing we don't talk about, or
Yeah, but we have like the lady of the house, right? We have that's the only thing that's come to mind is the lady of the house in, but I don't think people use that today so much.
The only thing I could think of, another one that was in culture, was like, of all things, one of the Iron Man films had New York as a circumlocution for Tony Stark's experience in the first Iron Man film. So they just say the name of the city, and he'd be like, ah, because he, have trauma, which, someone who's quite fond of New York, I don't agree with that, but no, I mean, I have a couple of these with friends and family to refer to something, but not to make clear what it is. So, but yeah, he who must not be named. I like that one.
The city that never sleeps.
There we go.
Las Vegas.
The city. No, New York. New York is the city that never sleeps.
Oh, New York.
Well, I mean, maybe Las Vegas is trying to steal it, but New York is the city that never sleeps. Just like Prague is the city of 1,000 spires, or 100, right. I forget, but a lot of spires.
A lot of spires, yeah. Okay. I can't think of any. Those are the ones that are most common.
Yeah, city nicknames.
I was thinking that New York was the Big Apple.
It is. It's both.
Yeah. Okay.
And the etymology of that is that back during the turn of the century, when you had a lot of musicians, and artists that wanted to perform, New York was considered the big time. Like if you made it, and that's like circumlocution itself. It was like if you performed in New York, you'd done it. You got the Big Apple. So that's where it came from.
Yeah, I think that these are ones that people in the States would understand.
Definitely.
But I think there are others that might not be common. Like I have never used the land down under.
I mean, a couple of my students have said that about. I have one student who I'm doing lessons themed around Australia right now, and he knew that meaning.
Oh, okay. The land down under. Yeah, that I know what it is. I've never used it. Yeah, for Australia.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm going to be doing a video on that and explaining that a little further. Like I said, you can download the PPT on my website at englishfunzone.com. In fact, you'll find all of the PPTs for these live streams there as well. Now, you do have to sign up, and that's easy to do. I just need your email. And next week, or next week, next live stream,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be talking about phobias.
Oh yeah.
So you're not going to want to miss that. Yeah. So, and next Monday I'll be posting that video on metonymy. So you're going to want to see that as well. Remember, all the links are in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining us today. Brad, as always, been a gem. Thanks for being here today.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was awfully good. It wasn't a train wreck.
No, it wasn't. It was wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And thanks for joining us today. And until next time, please keep practicing. Bye.